Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about the one thing, the one rule, the one principle that the whole world runs on. Literally, I'm not kidding. Here we go. The one rule or the one principle that affects literally everything in this world is the 80-20 rule, or also known as the Pareto principle. So this principle started off somewhere in the 1800s from an economist called Wilfredo Pareto, and he basically noticed that 80% of the money, of the wealth that is there in society, is earned by or owned by only 20% of the society. So only 20% of the people have 80% of the wealth which is there in society. Now, before I go further in this video, a small disclaimer: the numbers may vary. It might not always be 80-20, it might also be 70-30 or 99-1, or it could be anything, but you get the whole point. So, what this rule essentially states is that 80% of the results or the outputs come from just 20% of the inputs or the efforts. Now, like I said, the numbers may vary. It might be 90% of results from 10% of inputs, or 70% from 30%. Point basically is that a majority of the results come from just a minority of the inputs or the efforts. That's it. That's the rule. Now, you'll be like, what the hell? You might not comprehend this. You'll be like, if I put effort, my effort should pay off. Like, it can't just be that 20% of the effort is useful and the other 80% is wasted. I'll give you a few examples of this rule. Think about exams. Okay. In every exam, 80% of the questions that come, or the syllabus or the marks that you get, come from just 20% of what you have studied. 20% of the portion gives you 80% of the marks or the questions. That's it. Secondly, in football or soccer, 80% of the goals that are scored, 80% or even say 99% of the goals that are scored, come from only like 20 or 30% of the match time. Most of football is just passing it around or offsides or stuff like that. But most of the a big chunk of the goals that come, all of the goals that come from only like 20-30% of the time that is played. Okay. Thirdly, venture capital. This is something in which the numbers are very skewed. It'll be like 98-2. So 2% of the companies in which investors put their money into give them 98% of the returns, and the other 98% of the companies which don't make it big are the losses. But this 2%, like I said in an earlier video, outweighs the other 98% and makes up for those losses. So in the end, they are profitable, but it's just a small percent of the inputs that are translating to a very large percent of results and outputs. The last example that I want to give you is about your time utilization. You would notice that 80% of the effort of the results or the outputs that you get come from only 20% of the time that you invest. This is true for literally any endeavor. You could be working in a job, you could be a YouTuber. For example, in my YouTube, 20% or less than that of my videos give me 80% of the views. It was my top videos are day in the life, then the reason why Bits is the best college, then 2022 Rewind, and these three videos are sort of giving me the largest chunk of views, and the other videos are just there. But I need to have those other videos to sort of get to that. For example, if there's no other 80%, how will you have the 20%, right? So even effective time utilization, 80% of your results come from just 20% of the hours that you're working. Now you may say, Adit, okay, this is cool and all, this rule is fine, principle is fine. How does it affect me? How can I use this as insights, and how can I use this productively? How can I advance in my career and stuff like that? So what you need to understand, if you are a business owner, okay, then 80% of your profits come from 20% of your products. Say you have like a wide catalog, figure out what that 20% of the products, or 10%, like I said, numbers may vary. Figure out what that small portion of the products which are doing amazingly well are, and double down on that. Now, if you are, say, working at a job, then you might have some peak hours. For example, if you get up at say 5, then the 5 to 7 might be your peak time. Okay, or if you're writing a book, 5 to 7 might be your peak time. So those 2 hours will make up the largest chunk of the books that you write. So just write in that time and don't write in the other times. Do something else in the other free time that you have. Build something else. How else can you use this? Say for example, you're studying and the teacher stresses on certain topics and is not really care about the other topics. So you know that the topics that the teacher is stressing on, especially in college, because the person who's teaching you is the person setting the paper. So if he or she is stressing, even in school, but not board exams and JE, doesn't work for competitive and board exams. So if he or she is just stressing on some topics, saying that these are important, blah blah blah, then study those many times, like iteratively, and don't focus that much on the others, because this is the 20% which makes up the 80% of the marks or the results. So all in all, just understand that your efforts are not directly proportional to your results, and only a small part of your efforts translate into the largest chunk of results. If you identify and double down and actively work on that small chunk of efforts, you'll be able to multiply this result by many times, and you'll advance in your career, you'll have more growth, better opportunities, and other people will start calling this luck. Thank you for watching. That's it for now. Aditya signing off.